Today, we're sort of unpacking that powerful idea from Steve Jobs, the one you highlighted. Those who believe they can change the world are the ones who do.
Right.
But, what if you're not necessarily a born leader? What if you don't feel like you have that one grand vision? How can you still contribute positively?
Yeah. That's the core question, isn't it? Our mission here, digging into this stack of sources, is really to uncover those principles that show the power of, well, individual action. Quiet influence, maybe.
Okay.
We're pulling insights from, ancient philosophy, physical culture, biographies, trying to see how you can make a real difference, maybe in subtle ways.
So it sounds like the sources suggest a slightly surprising starting point for changing the world. It's less about these huge gestures and more about kind of internal work, self-mastery. How do we even start with something that sounds so abstract?
That's a really crucial point. And what's interesting is how consistent this idea is across different times, different thinkers. Take Marcus Aurelius in Meditations. He really emphasizes preserving a healthy mind, right? Being just in thy present dealings and putting real effort, a labor of love into your thoughts right now.
Labor of love on your thoughts. Interesting.
Yeah, and his belief that kindliness is invincible.
Yeah.
It suggests your inner state isn't just personal, it's like a force that actually affects the world around you.
It is fascinating how those ancient ideas line up. But, okay, for some people, focusing inward on quiet resilience might feel a bit passive.
Yeah.
How do these sources argue this quiet strength actually leads to action, not just, navel gazing?
Right, that's the pivot point. The Tao Te Ching talks about finding that treasure within by living simply without desires, and this idea of strengthening bones.
Physically and mentally, you mean?
Exactly, both. It forms a solid core foundation. And the argument is that inner stability is what allows for effective action outside yourself.
Okay.
And then you connect that to something like physical culture. Think Eugen Sandow, the famous strongman. He said, "It is the brain that develops the muscles."
So it's about willpower.
Fundamentally, yes. His point wasn't just about lifting weights. It was that any real transformation, physical or otherwise, starts with an act of will. He really pushed people. Don't be overcome by apparent difficulties. Go forward, never draw back.
So the internal decision, the mental strength, that's the real starting block for changing things externally.
Precisely.
Okay, that internal cultivation makes sense as a starting point. But the hurdle, for many, I think, is bridging that gap. How do you translate that inner strength into actual, tangible good out in the world, especially in small, everyday ways? What do the sources say there?
Well, Bruce Barton's take on Jesus gives us a powerful example of that bridge.
Okay.
He argues Jesus made this huge impact not by, leading armies or big movements, but by seeing potential in men, by being never too busy for someone who needed help. A sick person, a friend, a child.
Just being present.
Yeah. Barton even describes it vividly, how health poured out of the strong body into the weak one like an electric current. It shows this direct personal influence flowing from that inner strength and kindness.
That's a potent image, that direct transfer. And thinking about quiet impact, Benjamin Franklin comes to mind in his autobiography, right?
Exactly.
He talks about contributing to all these community projects through industry and frugality, but often avoiding presenting myself as the author. He just did the work.
Right. He focused on getting the good done, not on getting the credit. It highlights how much impact you can have without needing the spotlight, fostering collaboration instead.
It really shifts the focus.
And this brings us right back to how change actually builds up over time. The Tao Te Ching offers, I think, a timeless perspective here.
Which is?
That positive change happens when you take on difficulties while they are still easy, do great things while they are still small. It's about being proactive.
Tackling things early.
Yeah. And recognizing that step by step, the world's burden is lifted, and piece by piece, the world's treasure is amassed. It means those huge, overwhelming world problems, they get chipped away at by consistent small efforts from individuals like you.
So really what this all boils down to for you, the listener, is that Steve Jobs' statement. It's not just for the big name visionaries.
Not at all.
It seems the profound cumulative impact of your consistent, quiet acts, personal strength, kindness, just dedicating yourself daily that can genuinely shape the world for the better. It's like that quiet drip eventually filling the bucket.
Absolutely. So maybe think about the daily chances you have in your own life to embody these ideas, whether it's just a focused moment of kindness or a commitment to your own growth, or even a small, steady effort for some common good. You really do have the power to help lift the world's burden one small step at a time, building that treasure piece by piece, without needing a title or a giant stage.